guys, this is TK's Creations, and I'm going to show you how I press a puzzle. So I ordered this puzzle online on Amazon, and I'll provide the link for you below. And I wanted to show you what I do beforehand. Some puzzle makers have said that if you're going to press the puzzles, leave it out in the environment over 24 hours, just to kind of get it acclimated with the environment, you know, the fiber and the texture of the paper, puzzle paper, but I did not do that. So instead, I'm going to take it out the pack. I'm going to pre-press it on 400 degrees for like, 5 seconds or so and let it cool down. And then I'm going to press the puzzle. So this is the puzzle out the pack, and underneath it is this little card stock piece here. I don't use that when I press the puzzle, so I'm going to press it. I'm going to lay it on my heat press with the this kind of paper right here, and you'll see what I mean. Actually, I'm going to put the parchment paper over top of it. Some people use butcher paper. I'm using parchment paper, and I'm going to let that press for about 5 seconds. The pressure for these puzzles is medium, so I don't need to start my timer. 3, 4, and 5. I just simply count it, for like 5 seconds, and now I'm going to let that cool down before I put the actual paper on it with the image on it. This is the image here. You must mirror your images, because if you're putting it onto something, you want to mirror it so that it will actually come out the way that you intend. Something else you want to know, you can use tape to tape your image down to make sure that the image doesn't move or shift, and they call that ghosting, because if it does, it'll have like some white shadowing on your picture and on your puzzle also. Now, you also noticed here, as I lie the image down, you need to make sure that you have like a bleed area, because that way it'll go over, because this image here was actually a little too small for the puzzle. Because watch, if I put it here, I'm just going to kind of zoom in so you can see what I mean, okay? So if I put it here, okay, notice right there is actually good at the edge right there. So this is the puzzle piece. And then if I put the puzzle right there on the edge, it'll actually bleed over. That little white piece, that's actually tipped over, okay? But if you notice here at the very top, it'll have like that white border if I leave it, this white border if I leave it that way. So to avoid from having a white border, I need to go back and just move it a hair, okay? So that means, because it doesn't press white like this, like you're going to actually see that, okay, on the puzzle itself, okay? So if you cut that off and you press the image as is, you're going to end up still with a white piece of the puzzle that did not get pressed. So I'm going to do this image, I'm going to make sure that I pull it over just a little bit, shift it over just a little hair. Okay, so here's the image again, and I'm going to put it on the puzzle so you can see what it looks like. Whoops. Okay, so as you can see here, by me placing the image, or the puzzle rather, over top of the picture, you can see how there's a bleed section, but it's going to ensure that the entire puzzle is printed onto, the image is printed onto the puzzle. And I'm doing it for 400 degrees for 120 seconds. I've also heard various people say different things about how you want to place your image. Like if you place it like this, the puzzle, to me, doesn't do it any justice when you do it this way. Instead, you want your picture to be face down onto the puzzle itself. And I'm going to show you what I mean by that. This is not what you want. This is what you want right here, where you're going to have your puzzle on the mat and you're going to place your image on top of the mat. On top of the puzzle. And make sure that you place a piece of parchment paper over it so that the ink doesn't go onto your heat press, because whatever it comes off on this is going to come off onto your next project. To give yourself some reassurance, you may want to tape the sizes and the edges down to make sure it doesn't shift. All right, let's go ahead and press. And now we're ready to press. And again, remember, all heat presses are different. I know there's like a glare, you can't see the timer here, but for 400 degrees for 120 seconds, you want to make sure that you use medium pressure, okay? That's going to ensure that there's enough pressure applied to secure the image onto your puzzle. It's time to take it off. So we can lift it up to peek to make sure everything looks good. Your image will be very hot, so be very careful. And here is our puzzle.